Welcome back to another episode. Today I'm gonna review Outlaws for the PC Windows 95. And let's go.
I wanna play video games. I wanna play them all day. Yeah, yeah.
Outlaws is a first-person shooter that was developed and released by LucasArts in 1997. It is the very first-person shooter in a Wild West setting and, according to the internet, the first game to feature sniper zoom. You're playing former Marshal James Anderson, who tries to rescue his daughter and to avenge the death of his wife. Henchmen of a robber baron burned down his home, killed his wife and kidnapped his daughter, because the robber baron wanted to buy his land and he didn't accept the offer. After burying his wife, he grabs his remaining possessions, an old revolver, a Winchester rifle, some bullets, and chases after the kidnappers. This is the German version of the game, so every gameplay footage will be in the German language. Like in almost every other first-person shooter, the rules are simple. Explore the level, shoot the bad guys and everything that tries to get in your way, collect ammunition and weapons, find keys to open locked doors and find the exit of the level. Since Outlaws is one of the older first-person shooter games, you will have to find elixirs, canteens or doctor bags to regain health. Not like in today's first-person shooters where you have to take cover to regain health. You also have to reload your guns manually, bullet by bullet. Speaking of weapons, there are 9 different weapons available in Outlaws. Your fists for close combat, the revolver for close and medium range, the Winchester rifle, which is highly accurate and the best weapon for long range. Later on you can also find a scope for the rifle, which makes it a sniper rifle. Then a single-barreled shotgun for close and medium range, a double-barreled shotgun also for close and medium range, a sawed-off shotgun only for close range, dynamite, knives which you can throw or use for close combat, and a Gatling gun. But this weapon has 2 drawbacks. Number 1, it's a stationary weapon, so you can't walk around while using it. And number 2, you only find it at the end of the last level. So you're probably gonna use it for 1 or maybe 2 gunfights. You have 2 fire buttons, since almost every weapon has a primary and a secondary fire mode. Like the dynamite, with the secondary fire you light the fuse and with the primary you throw it. Or the revolver. Primary fire is your normal shot and with secondary fire you have rapid fire, which looks very cool and is very effective against a group of enemies. The main game has a total of 9 levels, including a ranch, 2 canyons, a train, a sawmill, a mine, a fort, the town sanctuary and the main villain's mansion. At the end of each level you will face one of the henchmen as a boss character, but it's not a typical boss battle like in Duke Nukem for instance. They can take more damage, they make more damage and their aim is better than the normal enemies. In some of the later levels you will face 2 of them, one at the end and the other one somewhere in the middle of the level.
Nein, bitte. Hören Sie auf zu schießen. Sie sind unterwegs nach Norden. Haben irgendwas vom Zug in Wellington erzählt. Dann Richtung Cortez. Dort würden Sie sie niemals finden. Bitte, erschießen Sie mich nicht.
Woher weiß ich, dass du die Wahrheit sagst?
Weil ich noch nicht sterben will. Verdammt, ich hab's dem verrückten Doktor doch gesagt. Das Kind zu stehlen ist bestimmt nicht gut für unsere Gesundheit.
Er hätte auf dich hören sollen.
There are some puzzles in the game, like set levers in the right position or find one or more specific objects. Gear wheels, for instance, for a mechanism. The puzzles are not hard, but finding some of the objects can be really frustrating, since most of the levels are pretty big, and searching around the same level again and again until you find that one spot that you missed before can be a pain in the ass. During the levels you can find a lot of secret areas and also some funny Easter eggs, like the aliens in the first level. For 1997 the graphics were above average but not impressive, since it uses the same engine as Dark Forces from 1995, the Jedi engine. I personally really like the graphics. The cartoonish look gives the game its unique style. It's like playing a mature cartoon film.
Wie schade. Ich hätte gerne was mit ihm besprochen.
The sound effects in this game are very good, and also the voice acting in both versions, English and German. I know that because I played the English version back in 1997. The music is the highlight of the game and just amazing. 15 full orchestral music tracks composed by Clint Bajakian, who also made the soundtracks for Dark Forces, TIE Fighter, Monkey Island 2, Indiana Jones and the Fate of Atlantis, and the list goes on. You can hear that he was influenced by Ennio Morricone, and because of the music the game has such a great atmosphere. The more you play the game, the more you will notice how much passion LucasArts put into Outlaws. And for me it looks like the game is an homage to the old so-called spaghetti western, especially the Clint Eastwood movies. For instance, the difficulty setting. You don't have easy, medium or hard, instead you have good, bad and ugly. Or you can find a steel plate which works like an armor, like in A Fistful of Dollars. The plate only protects your front. If you get shot from the side or the back, the plate doesn't help you at all. Then the rapid fire with the revolver. Now I'm not saying that Clint Eastwood was the first one who used that kind of shooting, but he was the first one I saw using that kind of shooting style. Since Outlaws is an old first-person shooter, there is no aiming function or button like in today's first-person shooters. You always shoot from the hip, except with the rifle scope. But if you're having some problems with your aiming, you can activate auto-aiming or a crosshair or invulnerable under options. The controls are perfect. You can choose between keyboard, keyboard and mouse, and keyboard and joystick. And if you want, you can configure every button any way you want to. Beside the main game / campaign, you also have the historical missions where you play the background story of James Anderson, how he became a marshal. You choose one of the levels and you have to find the main villain and shoot or arrest him or her. After you completed the level, you get a score on how well you did. And when you reached a certain score, you gain a rank like deputy, sheriff or marshal. You can increase the score by collecting gold and by arresting, not shooting, the wanted person. The historical missions are basically extra levels. They don't have a story or cutscenes, but I found them also quite entertaining. The game also has a multiplayer mode where you can choose one of 6 characters. I'm gonna be honest, I never played the multiplayer, but here are some details. You have the normal matches like deathmatch, team deathmatch, capture the flag, and one is called, I guess, capture the chicken, which is basically you have to collect the chicken and try to keep the chicken as long as you can before someone else shoots you. And the player who has the chicken the longest time wins the match. The game only includes 6 multiplayer maps, but according to the internet there are over 1000 maps available to download, and people are still playing them today. Finally, I just wanted to mention 2 things. Number 1, if you want to listen to the soundtrack, you can actually use the original game CDs and put them in a regular CD player. As you can see on the back, there are the music tracks. Only track number 1 on CD 1 and 2 are game data, they don't work, but the rest are the music tracks of the soundtracks. And number 2, this game was made for Windows 95 and I also played it on Windows Vista, but it only worked on the 32-bit version, not on the 64 version. And according to the internet you can also play the game on Windows XP, but you have to make a right click on the X file and under properties you have to change the compatibility mode to Windows 95 as far as I know. I have no idea if this game works on Windows 7, because I don't have it. Okay, finally, I think Outlaws is a unique first-person shooter with good graphics, good gameplay, amazing soundtrack and atmosphere. The story is not the best, but it's entertaining. And I think it's an awesome game, and if you like first-person shooters and you have a thing for Wild West games, then you can't go wrong with this one. Okay, this was my review for Outlaws for the PC. I hope you enjoyed the show. Maybe see you next time. Take care. Bye!
Ja!